Hello, this is Darren with WalkTheUSA.org, here to give a quick video to talk about gait sequence and how to choose the correct shoe for the task you have at hand. So what is gait? Gait is a controlled fall forward. And I know that's an odd concept to really grasp when you first hear it, but really what it is, when we're walking, all we're doing is controlling the fall that we are doing forward. There's momentum that takes us forward, and what we're doing is we're controlling that fall. So there are a series of steps that we've developed within our evolution that have allowed for our legs to do the proper things as we walk forward. So there are 4 phases to the gait sequence that we have as humans, and the first one is the heel strike. The heel strike is important because what it does, it allows the body to stop that momentum of the fall forward and catch us with a good heel. And this is a unique thing to humans. Most other species on the planet do not have anything similar to a heel strike. And so then the next thing that happens after the heel strike, we move into what we call the outside of the foot hitting. And this is where the arch is preloading so that we are allowed to bear the full weight of the body as it comes down on the foot directly. The next phase is the ball of the foot. As the ball of the foot hits the ground, what's happening is now you're using the bigger muscles to preload for the momentum to actually be shifted to propel you forward for the next leg to hit the ground, the next heel strike. Then after that, after the ball of the foot hits, then we go to the toe off, and the toe off is the launch or the spring that sends us forward. The toe off is important because without a proper toe off, you do not have the continuance of that same momentum. Okay, so what happens with a shoe? And how do you choose a correct shoe for the task you have at hand? Well, if we were all walking around with it was just a ground, we wouldn't really need shoes. We'd all be barefoot and we'd all do a proper gait sequence as it is. We don't need shoes to make that happen. It's just part of evolution. That's how we've gotten to the point that we have. So what we do is we choose a shoe based on the task we have at hand. Now this task, this epic walk that we plan to do, such a long distance, I'm going to have something that gives both the shock absorbing effect in the heel strike as I'm hitting concrete mile after mile, but also have enough potential to move me forward through a good toe off. And on that toe off, I want a shoe that moves my foot into that position properly. So a good shoe promotes the proper sequence as you're walking. So you want a shoe that will actually allow for both a heel strike, the outside of the foot, the ball of the foot, and the toe of the foot to be promoted through the course of your gait. The second thing that a good shoe will allow your foot to do is what we call proprioception. Proprioception is the ability to sense where your joints are in space. And although that's a very ethereal kind of a concept, it really it's not that difficult to truly understand. Proprioception is the ability to sense where your joints are in space. And how you can perceive that is, if I have 2 big bags of groceries and I'm trying to walk into my house, for the first time, I'm going to be feeling around where the threshold is so I'm not stumbling over my feet. If this is the 100th time that I've done it, I know exactly where everything is, and it's an easy thing for me to walk on through even though I can't see my feet. And that's because in every joint in our body, our joints have sensory mechanisms within them, Golgi tendon organs and muscle spindles that are around the tendons and around the joint. And what they allow us to do is to send information back to the brain about the physical location of that joint every second of the day. In some joints, it's as quick as around 36,000 instances per second that information is sent to the brain, and the brain processes that information and then sends it back to the joint what it wants it to do next. Okay, so taking that all into account, what I had to do is I had to find the shoe that did all of that for me. So what I ended up deciding on was the Merrell Bare Access 2. It's a charcoal colored shoe with an orange bottom, and you can see it in the pictures here. And then I took a picture, and the beautiful aspect of that picture, the one I'm raving about, is what this shoe does for me for the gait sequence. This shoe drives my foot into a proper gait sequence. So the nice thing about the Merrell Bare Access 2 is it allows both for the cushioning of the road, the concrete that I'm on, but it gives me enough freedom so that I can feel the road underneath my feet. I hope you've enjoyed this discussion, and if you're with Merrill, call me. I'm telling you, this